Right, YouTube, Big Mike without further ado retro. Still not very well at the moment, but I've had some pickups come through, so I thought we'd do a pickups video. Alright, let's take a look at the pickups. Cheers. Right, the first pickup we've got is Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation, the cardboard box. Been after this for a while. Had this back in the day, absolutely love it. Really like the cardboard style of these boxes. Also, a game I got in this style box is the original Tekken. The original first releases are in these type of boxes. So this, Tekken, I think there are a few others, maybe Warhawk. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 3, really good on the original PlayStation. Really nice, nice quality box. I believe this was just under £10, something like $9.90. But to get this, yeah, it's not well, to get this in sort of reasonable condition, you're going to be looking at about £10 upwards. Manual, it's certainly seen a thumb. It's not in the best condition, but it's okay. You see the disc is pretty cool. So Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation was one I had to get because it was one of my... Oh, there's a nasty scuff there. Didn't see that. We pretend we didn't see that. It's okay. You got to expect a bit of wear and tear, aren't you? Nothing's going to be perfect. But yeah, like I say, this was just under £10. So Mortal Kombat 3. So that's that one. Next is a game that I've been after for a very long time. It's supposed to be sort of like a Metroidvania type game on DS. Which is Barnyard Blast, Swine of the Night. Now, this is the American version, but the American cartridges, the DS is universal as far as I'm aware. You can play all regions. It was only the 3DS that they locked up. I've been asked this for a while, because I've heard on someone's, I think it's Metal Jesus' video, on his video, Reggie recommended this, and it looked really cool, and I've been after it ever since. Now, this game, it's generally sort of £20 upwards from America, or France, or, you know, I don't know if it got an English release, but it just doesn't seem to come up on eBay with English release. But you generally find the American ones, or like a German one, or a French one. But this came up on my listings, my saved listings, and I managed to get this. This is usually, like I say, £20 upwards to try and get this game. Some strange reason this came up on Music Magpie for £6.99. So I jumped on it straight away. It didn't have a picture, just matched the game, but it didn't have a picture, so I was a little bit worried. I thought it might be cart only, but I thought, well, the £6.99 is worth. You know, cart only goes for £10 plus, so you know, it was worth a chance, and it's come through complete. Like I say, it is the American version, but £6.99, I'm happy with that. I did try and go back and buy some more if there were any more on there, because obviously you'd buy them and sell them for a higher price. I know it's a dirty reseller thing to do, but you know, we've all got to do something to get our games at the prices that we want them for, and that's how we better our collection and make our collections bigger, isn't it? By buying things at a lesser price and selling them at a higher price. So, you know, we all do it. So, but yeah, I couldn't get back on there and find this. But if you Music Magpie Barnyard Blast, it's supposed to be, it's recommended by Reggie off of Metal Jesus' channel, off of also his own channel. But yeah, this is supposed to be a great game. So, Barnyard Blast. I can't wait to have a blast on it. Right, next we're into the Amiga stuff. So, first one is Octamed Studio version 1. Now, I do have version, you can see myself in that. You do have basically Octamed version 5 point something. I thought this was interesting. It's on CD. Basically, I used to use Octamed. I believe I used to use Octamed 8. But yeah, I wanted to do a bit of trying to produce a bit of music on the Amiga. I've got a sampler. I've got some decent amount of memory in my 1200. I think I've got 8 megs plus maybe. Yeah, I would definitely be interested in trying to make a bit of music. I don't know anything musically really, but I used to tinker about back in the day and come up with something that sounded sort of, almost sort of almost acceptable and sounded okay. So, it's something that I wouldn't mind having a go at and would quite enjoy. I thought my friends would sort of take the mick out of me when they sort of seen some of this stuff, sort of say, oh, come on, Mike, blooming hell, PCs are so more advanced, you can do so much more, this, that and the other. But my friend Jake was helping me with changing the room around. He spotted one of my music sampling things on the Amiga. I thought, oh no, here we go, he's going to take the mick. And he went, oh, wow, that's really cool, I wouldn't mind giving you a hand with that. So I was quite surprised. So, yeah, I thought I was the only sort of guy who sort of like using the older stuff and tinkering about and making music and things, but obviously other people enjoy it as well. So that's Octamed. Like I say, it's worth a look. So very cheap as well. I think it's 99p plus so much postage, like another pound something postage. The next one is Chuck Rock. Now I have this on big box. I don't know why I bought this one on small box really, but it's in very nice condition. It has the poster, it has the disc. But again, this is, I'm very much going, usually on a Sunday is my Sunday activity. I go through all the listings of Mega Drive, Blooming SNES, Amiga, and look through anything cheap, I'll chuck £1 on it. And, usually, sometimes you see things on there and they turn over, no one bids on them. And, you think, well, I could have had that for £1. So a lot of times I'll chuck £1 there, £1 there. And I believe I won this for £1 plus postage, so probably paid about £3 or £4 altogether for this. So, but it's in lovely condition. Like I say, it's possibly another trade in the arsenal. But like I say, I've got it on big box and I've got it on small box as well. So it's another cool game though. Definitely really cool. Right, next up. Sorry about the glare. I've got the light a bit above me. Is Double Dragon Amiga. Now, it's an okay game. It's okay conversion on Amiga. I think the best home conversion for Double Dragon is possibly the Mega Drive, but Shock 16. I possibly agree with what he's saying, that the Game Boy version is very good. But if I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the Game Boy version is its own game again. It's not 100% to the arcade levels, whereas the Mega Drive and Amiga is. So the Game Boy game has slightly different levels, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. I could be getting that wrong there, but that's how I remember it. But I have it. Might have to check it on and have a look. But yeah, Double Dragon on Amiga. It was an okay conversion. Like I say, the Mega Drive was probably the best. Mega Drive was pretty spot on, really. Amiga was sort of doable, not great. Better than the Spectrum version. The Spectrum wasn't. It was still cool. It was still Double Dragon, but it wasn't like the arcade. It wasn't 100% like the arcade. Mega Drive was pretty spot on with that, really. So, right, that's Double Dragon on the Amiga. The next one. This came with Double Dragon. I wouldn't have generally chose to buy this, which is Altered Beast on the Amiga. I'm pretty sure that this is a pretty poor version. But you can't beat Altered Beast Mega Drive unless you're talking the arcade. So, but yeah, this was a double pack with Double Dragon. I believe it might have been £14 something for the two. So £7 each. There's another two Amiga medium box games. So that was pretty cool. One I've been after for a while, but it's usually really dear. Well, I say really dear. It's like £15 upwards usually. It's Titus the Fox, which is also the logo for the company, which is their logo is Titus the Fox. So Titus the company, Titus the Fox is where the logo is from. Or they made the game to do with the logo. The classic Amiga platformer. Really cool game. And like I say, been after it for a while. Usually this is sort of $15.99 upwards. I believe I managed to pick this up for like £4 plus $3.50 delivery. So I jumped on it. So yep, it was definitely certainly worth purchasing. I was just trying to look there. It's an artist signature. So that's Titus the Fox on Amiga. Right, the next game is... I haven't really played this on Amiga, but I thought, you don't really see this about too often, which is Space Ace 2, Borth's Revenge. The Space Ace games weren't particularly great games, playability-wise. They were, however, I suppose, a visual... you hadn't seen anything like it before in the arcade. They were like an interactive movie, really, cartoon, which was really cool. But this on the Amiga, I'd imagine it's quite cut down. But it's the playability's naff on these. It's more a sequence of a sequence of moves to get to the next section of video. If you sort of if you put the wrong sequence in, you get the death sequence. If you put the right sequence in, you get the next section of video. So but like I say, back in the arcades, when these were released on the old Laserdisc arcades, they were a visual marvel, really. But just one that's interesting to see come up a lot. I think I paid about £7 for this. Might have been £10. I'm pretty sure it was £7 or just over. So, one that you don't see every day at a reasonable price. So, I picked it up. So that's Space Ace. Right, the next one is a game that is fantastic playability-wise. And it's a great game. It's actually a remake, actually, which is Myth. History in the Making. Look at the artwork on that. That is really cool. Now, Myth, if anyone knows their sort of history of games, I suppose. But, Myth actually came out on the 8-bit systems first, if I'm correct with this. I remember playing it on the Spectrum, and it's a fantastic game. I do have it on the Spectrum as well. Now, I believe they then released this 3 years later, so they remade it for the Amiga, possibly the ST as well. I'm not sure if it came out on the Archimedes and extra things like that, but I know it definitely came out on the Amiga, and I'm pretty sure it came out on the ST. But yeah, Myth was a really cool game. You go sort of through all the sorts, Medusa there, you see. You got the Medusa's head in his arms, if you can see, and you use that to kill that 3-headed dragon there. It's just a really cool game. Really good on the 8-bits. I have it on the Spectrum. And really cool on the Amiga. I'm not sure if I think it's pretty faithful to each other on level design. Obviously, the Amiga, the graphics are a lot better. But originally it was an 8-bit incarnation. And as you can see, the reviews there, Amiga Action, the 1, 0, and Computing all give it in the 90s, you see. But Myth, great game. This goes for ridiculous money online. I've seen them, and then people have been trying to get like £60, £70. I'm not going to pay that. I think I might have paid 20 or maybe just over 20. Even that I don't really like paying because this is the media that's it's breaking over time, isn't it? But like I say, I'm more about the box art and the nostalgia of owning the games. I never owned this back in the day, but I had it on a backup, if you know what I mean. But this is Myth, History in the Making. So another great game to add to the collection. Right. Now for a section that's a little bit inspired by SNES-tastic. The other week we were all sort of talking about or doing video responses about growing up and our experiences of piracy. And here's a little hat off to that topic. The first one is another pickup, which is Pipe Mania. Great game. I'd like to have had this boxed, but to see it disc only, and the manual. But as you can see in here, here are the codes. So to play this game, it will say like, if I can get it to focus, it will say like yellow or light red, dark, and then it will show you a sign at the top. And those are the codes that you have to push in. So this is Pipe Mania copy protection sheet. And like I say, they were designed in red and black. So when you tried to photocopy them, it would just come out as black because red and black wasn't. The photocopies were unable to distinguish between red and black. So, but like I say, there was a gentleman that my friend knew who was an officer of the law, and to get around this problem, he used the Works fingerprinting machine, and that had no problems at all with red and black. So we all had a copy of the codes, courtesy of our Majesty's Police Force. So it's crazy with the game swapping scene in the back in the day. I used to swap games with police officers, tax inspectors, people from all walks of life. Really, it was rife in the 80s. And right, to carry on the same theme, a game that I went on about and said to the people was Robocop 3. Talking about it sort of made me nostalgic and had to go and buy it. But the main, if I can do this, the main thing that we were talking about was this was it was basically a game that was supposed to have a device that put pay to piracy altogether, which was known as the dongle, and here is said dongle. Supposed to put pay to the old piracy game. Well, that didn't do too well, did it? Because I think they released this about 2 or 3 weeks before it's actually supposed to be released in the shops. So the piracy people, Skid Row, Fairlight, and all that, absolutely laughed at this. And to sort of show how much it really put pay to their game, they give this about a 3 or 4 week early release. But also in here is I don't know if you can see it, so it's upside down, which is pretty cool. Is a you see hologram with Robocop on, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty funky. But yeah, it's just the dongle. So what a piece of kit. It was supposed to be the end of piracy. So there you go. I mean, they've just done something now, haven't they, on the PC. I know that they had some new copyright protection, and it was on Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein, and some other game before it. I think it took the hackers about half an hour to smash it out of the park. So now they're saying this new technology that they've bothered to put probably thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds, maybe even millions of pounds into coming up with, lasted about half an hour, and the hackers were around it. So it's pretty much obsolete as soon as it comes out. So, if they can make it, they can break it. So, all right, let's have a look at the next lot. Right, and now we are on to the Super Nintendo. So, yep, it finally arrived, which is my other version of Super Swift. I ordered this off of another company, and it didn't arrive, so I sort of got hold of them and said that it hadn't arrived. Had they sent it late, they got back to me and said that they've been in touch with the post office. They'd been reimbursed by the post office. They'd also managed to source another version of this game. Would I accept it still? And I said, yeah, not a problem. Send it through. It has a bit of a nasty, almost like a spongy type sticker there. I haven't used anything to try and remove it yet, but I shall be removing that. And I'll be selling this version on because my other version's in better condition. So, but still not a bad game. I'll probably give it an iron as well to try and get the box a bit more integral and looking a bit better, and then I shall be selling this one on. So that's Super Swiv. It's arrived, better late than never. It's always good to be able to work with people on eBay, and if it doesn't always work out, it's nice that they were civil and I was civil with them. There's no point in getting funny with people. People, things happen, things go missing. It's just got to get it sorted out amongst yourselves, haven't you? Right, the next one is F1 Exhaust Heat. Now, this isn't supposed to be the particularly best game. I believe, if I'm correct, it might have been an original release title when the Super Nintendo came out. If not, it was out not very long after the machine was released. Not supposed to be a particularly great game. Still a game nonetheless. I believe I paid £7 something for this plus postage, so I think it's £10 all in. And for that price, I thought it was worth getting. It's worth having a look. I think it got like 60s or 70%, but I'm not expecting a great game for that sort of money. But you know, it's still a piece of the SNES's history, and £10 or just over. You know, another box SNES game. So fantastic. Right. Next one is Syndicate on the Super Nintendo. Now, I know this isn't supposed to be a very good version. I'm used to playing Syndicate on the Amiga. I used to play the 500 version on the 1200, and that was pretty cool because it sped it up quite some and made the game a lot more playable. I think it's supposed to be a little bit cut down. As you can see, the characters aren't nowhere near as nice as what they are on the Amiga. It's supposed to be quite cut back, this version, but I've got it. I'm going to have a look at it, and I think this was £10 or under, so £10 or under, another box Super Nintendo game. So that's Syndicate. Right, next one was a little bit more expensive. Is Archie McLean's Super Drop Zone, published by Psygnosis. I've never played this, but Alex Nintendo Arcade highly recommends this. I believe this was under £20. It might be about £17 something. It might be £17 plus delivery, so it's about 20 quid. Maybe just short of 20 quid. But to get this in nice condition for that sort of money, it's quite hard to do nowadays. So I can imagine this game will be a game that will be on the up. As it's getting, you know, I don't think it's sold particularly well. So you'd be hard pushed to find a nice copy of this for a nice price. So comes highly recommended by Alex, Nintendo Arcade. So Alex, I'm going to take your word for it and have a go on this. So thanks very much, Alex, for the recommendation, and I'll let you know how we got on. That's cool. And the last game, last and possibly by least, is another copy of Super Monaco GP. I had a couple of bids on a couple of different ones, and if you remember in the last video, I won one of these. I also won the second one. So this come through. It's only a few pounds, less than £5. So I should basically keep whichever one's the best condition and forward one on, or give it away to a friend or something who's collecting. Or, you know, because Super Monaco is pretty. There's a lot of them about, really, so it's not a particularly expensive game or anything, you know, £5 or maybe just over or just under, so, you know, but it's also on some of the, like, mega collections. I'm not sure which one. I'm not really into mega collection cartridges. I say I prefer my games on full fat, if you so to say, you know, full releases on one cartridge in the correct box, not these sort of compiling together. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great way to get games cheaper. But as a collector, I like to sort of have the every game individually titled. I mean, initially on the Mega Drive, I had the package with Gunstar Heroes, the 4-pack, until I could afford to get Gunstar Heroes on its own. You know, and then now I've got Gunstar Heroes and most other games on that cartridge. That cartridge will be sold on. So it's boxed as well. But yeah, that's Super Monaco. Okay, YouTube, thanks very much for your time. Oh no, I tell a lie. We're shutting it down too early. 2 secs. Right, sorry about that, YouTube. I jumped the gun a bit. I've got one last pickup, and that is The Evil Within 2. As you know, I've just got the Xbox One X. I've got a lot of the older games, and I'm trying not to buy the newer games because they cost a lot of money when they first come out, and then a couple of weeks or a month or two, they go to half price. So I've had my eye on this game for quite some time. I do have the first one. I haven't even completed the first one. But it is by a game maker that I enjoy. It's by the same same guy, or if this sequel is. I know the first one was made by the same guy that done Resident Evil 4. So as you all know, I love Resident Evil 4. One of my, probably in my top 3 games of all time. Definitely in my top 5. It's certainly a game I've been playing over the last 10 years. So obviously, Evil Within 2 came out. I've been eyeing up this game. I'm like, I can't really buy it, and try not to buy it, try not to buy new games. But then Game had an offer on, which was $29.99. I had £9 credit from buying the £9.70, I believe, from buying the Xbox One X. So I thought, well, that's not too bad. That brings it down to £20. That's sort of doable, really, £20. Don't sort of mind beating myself up too much for spending £20. But when I went on there and bought it, didn't stop at that, did it? They had this on there as well, which is the steel tin, which is really cool artwork. Look at that. Really sort of cool. You look a bit like Michael Jackson, though, doesn't he? And the Evil Within 2. And this was $4.99. So I'm just wondering if there's any different inside. Yeah, there's another cool scene there, look. So this was $4.99. So it went from being $29.99 to being $34.99 or $34.98. But then I used me £9 something credit, so I think it's like £26 something or something, £27 something. So yeah, so Evil Within 2, we've got that, and we'll be opening that and install it on the Xbox One X and seeing what that's like, because I haven't really played much on the Xbox One X at the moment. I've just been installing all my old games, and sometimes that's a bit of a faffing around, isn't it? So, but yeah, I certainly should be giving this a playthrough. So, all right, YouTube, thanks very much. Cheers for your time. Like I say, like, comment, and subscribe. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. We're getting more subscribers. We're up to the 58 mark. Like I say, you appreciate each and every one of you. Also, and that's another thing. I think there's a channel like Old School Variety Face. He's absolutely fantastic. It's like it reminds me very much of a Phone Jacker meets sort of retro gaming. Really, Phone Jacker meets YouTube meets retro gaming. Old School Variety Face, superb. He's only got, I think he's 22 subscribers or something. He deserves a lot more than that. If you I don't know how to leave the links in the description, but just look old School Variety Face, and go along to that channel and have a look. I mean, his videos get more views. He gets more views than I do, but he's only got 22 subscribers. That's not right. He should have a lot more subscribers than I have. Guy puts a lot of effort into his channel. He's a very, very funny guy. And like I say, just go over there and have a look. So, but that's me, YouTube. That's Evil Within 2. That's the pickups. We're really trying to slow down on these pickups now. I am pretty much spent now till after Christmas. There's a couple of things coming through now that I've put bids on. Other than that, I'm really trying to slow down with the pickups. I want to go. I'd like to get a new TV in January. I'd like to be going to play Blackpool as well. It's going to be tight. So the pickups have to slow down, or if not stop. I've got enough games to be showing you without doing pickups, probably for the next 3 or 4 years anyway. So I can do some collection videos and show you what cool stuff I have in the collection, and we'll go from there. Okay, YouTube, like I say, like, comment, and subscribe. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Cheers. Goodbye.